Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's ILTA webinar, 5 Ways to Modernize Your Legal Legacy Applications. I'm Gail Kelly, and I'll be serving as your moderator. Our presentation today will run about 45 to 60 minutes, and we ask you to submit all questions to the Q&A box. And if we do not answer them during the presentation, they will be addressed at the end. Before we start, please know that we are recording today's webinar and will post a link to our website under recording shortly after today's presentation. At the end of the presentation, we ask that you take a few moments to complete the evaluation. I'll now turn the webinar over to Ted.
Thank you, Gail. And today we're going to be talking about 5 ways to modernize your legacy applications. And you'd mentioned that the content 45 to 60 minutes. It's actually going to run less than that. So we've done this presentation before, and we'll get you out of here a little early. So lots of content to talk about, and it's going to happen pretty quickly. So I'd like to introduce AcroWire and our technical capabilities. So for those of you that don't know AcroWire, we do a ton of work in legal. So we're ILTA Silver sponsors. I speak at SharePoint Symposium, ILTACon, write articles. We do a ton of these webinars. So we're a very trusted partner in the legal space. We have 4 main practice areas. We have a SharePoint practice, which is focused on intranet and extranet development in a legal context. We have our application development practice, which my friend Zach here is a part of, who's going to be co-presenting today. And we really do everything under the sun app dev, including application modernization. So we're going to share some of our experiences around that. We also do some managed services work. So we manage people's, our firm's SharePoint environments, as well as their custom applications. That includes monitoring, keeping the lights on, management, service packs, disaster recovery simulations, all those sorts of things. And then we have also an envisioning practice where we help firms who have a conceptual idea for an application or an intranet extranet, and they need to synthesize the concepts that are in stakeholders' heads into actionable requirements and hammering out wireframes and use cases and all that sort of stuff. So that's our envisioning practice, and those are our technical capabilities. So what we're going to cover today, Zach and I are going to introduce ourselves, tell you a little bit about each other, and we're going to talk about what application modernization is. And that's really a broad topic. Application modernization, which Zach is going to define for you. There are firms out there that have point-and-click solutions to application modernization. It's not usually a good fit for a lot of, especially where there are edge cases, technology-wise. It's usually more an app dev team that takes on these tasks, but I don't want to steal Zach's thunder. He's going to talk to you more about that. We're also going to talk about when and why you should modernize, and maybe you don't modernize. Maybe there are other solutions to your modernization needs, like off-the-shelf solutions. And we'll talk about how you can do it, what your top questions should be, and some strategies for getting there. And then we're going to go into Q&A. And all this content typically takes 25, 30 minutes to deliver. So depending on how many questions you folks have, we'll be able to get out of here a little early. Okay, introductions. I'm Ted Theodoropoulos. I'm the founder and president of AcroWire. Been in business for a number of years. I spent about a decade at Bank of America in a number of different technology roles, and that's my happy face there, even though it doesn't look that way. I'm a former member of the Microsoft SQL Server team, so I spent some time at Microsoft, and we helped coach firms, Microsoft customers, through a lot of modernization efforts. So I have some perspective there. I'm also a certified Scrum Master and Lean Six Sigma Black Belt. And I will turn it over to Zach to introduce himself and dig into the content.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zachary Johnson, and I am a solutions architect with about 20 years of experience. I have focused my time and energies predominantly on the Microsoft technologies, though not exclusively. I have worked on solutions ranging from high-end e-commerce websites to supply chain management and finance solutions, to custom line of business applications, and once on a really fun project to track the sun for a solar panel startup company. I have both a BS in Information Systems and an MBA from the Walton College of Business at the University of Arkansas, as well as several Microsoft certifications. So let's get started. What is application modernization? Well, let's go with a textbook definition. Application modernization refers to the conversion, rewriting, or porting of a legacy system to a modern computer programming language, software library, protocol, or hardware platform. Legacy transformation aims to retain and extend the value of the legacy investment through the migration to new platforms. Well, why should we care about our old applications and systems? Well, anybody that knows me personally knows that I like analogies, so let's try one here. When you initially build or buy a home, it may be a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom structure that is perfect for a new family starting out. As your family grows, though, you need more room, so you add on a new bedroom here, an extra bathroom there, a game room, and perhaps a bigger kitchen. The problem with this is it is built on the fundamental foundation that was meant for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. When you extended the HVAC to accommodate the extra rooms, you inadvertently caused the living room to never cool off in the summer while the bathroom is freezing. You can't take a shower while doing laundry and running the dishwasher. And worst of all, the electrical system could catch fire and burn the entire house down at any moment. Many legacy applications fit this particular pattern over time. Over the next several slides, we're going to talk about the 9 general signals your application can be sending you, telling you that you should modernize. These signs range from usability to maintenance and more. So let's get started. Sign number 1. No one likes to use the application, or they avoid it whenever they can. That's because it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Most legacy applications do most of what businesses need them to do, they just don't do them very well. And people have grown to expect applications that are easy to use, attractive, and intuitive. Software like web browsers and hardware like mobile phones have trained people to think and behave in certain ways, and upgrading your application's user interface to fit with modern usability standards can improve adoption rates and productivity while reducing errors and job dissatisfaction. Sign number 2. Your IT staff are scared to touch it. Many legacy applications work quite well, unless you need to modify or fix them. Sometimes this is because the application was created long ago using tools and languages that are near extinction. Other times, it's because the application was developed quickly without regard for future growth and changes. Either way, touching your code base becomes so risky that businesses devise numerous workarounds and avoid touching it altogether. But by pulling out troublesome components and rewriting them, you remove a Pandora's black box and replace it with a system that is clean, organized, and maintainable at a lower cost. Sign number 3. Your systems don't work well together. You have multiple applications that you use to run your business, but none of them talk to each other or share data. Sometimes you log into multiple applications to perform a single task and have to copy data from one system to another, bringing risk that these two systems won't be in sync. This can be solved by developing a single user interface to multiple systems that delegate responsibility to those systems as needed. By doing this, you unify the disparate applications and data, ensuring accuracy while simplifying training requirements. Sign number 4, it's too many passwords. You have multiple applications and each one manages its own logins. You have to design elaborate schemes to keep usernames and passwords in sync between all of your applications so that your users don't have to bear this burden. This requires a high level of maintenance from very expensive IT staff. But if you implemented a single sign-on and bring all of your disparate applications under the same security and login authority, you will lower security maintenance costs and improve the overall application and data security. Sign number 5. Your system reminds you of the 1980s. Your business has adapted to changes in the marketplace in order to remain competitive. Yet, you are still using the applications from your early days. There is a mismatch between how you do your business and how you manage your data and processes online. By re-engineering your code base, you can take advantage of technology trends and improvements like the rise in mobile devices and the Internet of Things, as well as to make available to your company the correct data needed at the right moment to make the critical decisions. Sign number 6. Asking for metrics is akin to mailing a letter. You might get an answer next week. Over the years, you have accumulated lots of data that you suspect can help you run your business better. This data is spread out between multiple systems, and there is a unified way to view it. Anytime you wish to see more, you have to go and ask IT. The solution here is to build dashboards and cross-application reporting capabilities. By doing this, you provide insight into key performance indicators to support business decisions and make it available to you anytime, anywhere, on virtually any device. Sign number 7. Think about how our lives have changed with mobile phones. Now think about having to go back to only landlines. Legacy applications can be like this. They work well, but only when you're in the office. Once you leave, you are blind to what is or is not occurring. It's not that your applications are bad. It's just that they don't reach very far. But by web enabling your applications, you allow access to them anytime, anywhere, on any device. Sign number 8. You feel like an IT shop. In addition to the effort you expend serving your customers, too much time is wasted backing up data, optimizing servers, freeing up disk space, making sure your server room is at the perfect temperature, and making sure the coffee is just right for your temperamental systems engineer. However, you are not likely a mini IT shop, so don't try to be one. Think of it this way. When you needed electricity, you ordered it over the phone. You didn't go build a generator out back and custom wire the office. Many common IT needs are being commoditized in the clouds, and prices and complexity are being eliminated. There is no reason why this should not be an option to consider. Sign number 9. When the server is down, you are dead in the water. It doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it's always at the worst time. Servers fail from time to time, and that is life. However, you cannot afford for your business to fail because of it. You can't beat the dependability of applications built with a modern technology stack running on the cloud infrastructure. Cloud vendors offer out-of-the-box redundancy and failover protections that would cost significant amounts of money and headache and time to create yourself. Regardless of the modernization strategy you choose, you should address the following. Is there a sound business case? Have we identified all of the risks and have a mitigation plan? What is our budget and how do we control costs? How much value will we truly be gained over what time period? What are my opportunity costs? And are we really ready and committed? If you have these questions answered, and they all point towards a modernization initiative, then here they are. Strategy number 1, rewrite the entire application from scratch. With fresh ground-up construction, you get exactly what you need and want. Rewriting from scratch is that opportunity where you can take a step back, look at your current needs, look at what you have created already, and say, if I were going to do this all over again, how would I do it, and what would it look like? How can I prevent the problems we are currently facing, build out for what the future holds, and in effect, build a new house? There is the potential for scope creep and paralysis, though. Once word gets out that this project is being planned, everyone with any stake in the solution, and many with no stake at all, will be telling you what must be included. You run the real risk of creating the software version of a congressional omnibus spending bill, which exceeds both cost and time while not returning the true value you require. You can help mitigate this problem with a solid requirements gathering process and a small team of empowered decision makers who review the requirements and requests and make calls as to what is needed and what is not. You can execute this methodology both iteratively or as one large release. However, current best practices tend to encourage an iterative development process over a single large-scale release. This is because iterative development allows you to learn and improve as you go. You get feedback from users as well as perfect the best way to gather, build, and deliver on the new functionality. You also do not hit your user base with a massive change all at once. Evolution is far less risky than revolution and provides an ROI at each milestone. Relatively speaking, this is the largest commitment you can make. If you can get into the end zone, it can have the biggest payoff. Strategy number 2, purchase a commercially available solution. Using our housing analogy, this solution is the equivalent of moving to a newer, nicer neighborhood. Why build an entirely new house if you can buy one that is already built and fits 90% of what you need? Yes, you may have to paint it a different color or modify it slightly, but the cost savings and speed efficiencies gained can be significant enough to make a complete rewrite no longer attractive. This approach cannot be done iteratively, though. You will need to be cognizant of the need to train and ensure a smooth transition process, as your staff will leave on a Friday using one system and come in on Monday using an entirely new one. In addition, if the solution doesn't fit your needs 100%, you need to be very clear as to the level of effort required to modify the remaining few percent. Is it even possible to modify it? How would those modifications look? Does the application handle customizations gracefully, or are you putting a square peg into a round hole? How will those modifications affect your ability to upgrade the software later? I have personally seen in the past where massive modifications to purchase solutions either prevent future upgrades or significantly increase the cost of those upgrades. Pressure such as this can lead to security vulnerabilities and other risks and frustration as management puts off software upgrades because the headache isn't perceived to be worth the benefits. Other considerations include licensing costs and other software costs paid to the vendor of the software solution. If you adopt a solution that has a 10-year lifespan with a solid year-on-year profit margin, could those profits be squeezed or eliminated 3 years down the road when you're married to the solution because the vendor has changed their pricing model or your business has changed such that you need more licenses? 90% of the work done using this methodology ought to be done before the purchase is made, not after. You can keep your costs in check through ensuring, through that proof of concept, that the application can easily fulfill all of your needs and that the licensing model remains acceptable to you even if you see more than expected growth over the lifespan of the solution. Strategy number 3, microservices. This option is analogous to gutting and rebuilding the HVAC or electrical system of your home. You have the ability to fundamentally improve your application in substantial ways. However, you are still tethered to the remainder of the legacy solution. This is a good option, though, to consider if you are happy with most of your system and the majority of your issues reside in one sector of the legacy application. It also mitigates some risk, as you are changing only part of the solution, not the entire thing. Another big plus is the fact that you can set up a parallel testing system and perform side-by-side tests between the old system and the new to ensure that there are no bugs or usability issues or other problems. Lastly, consider that you can also use this methodology as an iterative step within the scope of a complete rewrite. You must be careful, though, to ensure interoperability between old and the new systems, and you now have 2 sets of technologies to maintain. Also, because of the iterative nature of this approach, there is a chance that you might lose focus and never accomplish the long-term goals as the immediate needs of the company appear bigger on any given day. 2 benefits to this methodology are that you will begin seeing an ROI upon the release of each component or service, and your commitment doesn't extend beyond the service you are currently working on. Once it's live, you could table the greater project for other priorities as needed. Strategy 4, hosting environment upgrade. The benefits of this solution include the instant removal of your mini IT shop and the headaches that come with it. You need to be sure that your current IT staff have the skill sets to work with cloud-based resources, though. Costs can be controlled because cloud solutions allow for an extreme level of customization and the ability to pay for only what you use. You can thus ramp up or down as the business is needed. This ability to move quickly and control costs thus allows you to see an ROI almost immediately upon migration. Lastly, your commitment level is limited to whatever you want. You can start with a single server and see how it goes, or jump in with an entire department. Strategy 5, UI upgrade. The benefits to this methodology are a low-cost, fresh look to a dated, clunky application. This can be a solid solution if the underlying application is good and all you need is a UI refresher to make it more usable and friendly. It can be very inexpensive and extend the life of the application. One concern, though, is that the foundation is still a potential tangled mess that requires the same maintenance as before. Also, while the UI can be improved over time after the initial rollout, the initial rollout itself cannot be accomplished iteratively. You need to make sure that through significant proof of concept testing, that the UI that you plan to build is in fact more intuitive, efficient, and easy to use. Otherwise, the very value you were hoping to gain won't materialize. You can control costs through solid requirements and pixel-perfect diagrams, and that proof of concept testing for usability before you start building. It's easy and inexpensive to create mock user interfaces and test how you think your users work before you start construction. In creating these mock user interfaces, you also learn how your employees think, how they work, what they expect, and what their biases are. Such soft knowledge is the key to building processes and systems that are easy to use and intuitive. Now you're an expert. Remember the 9 signs. Do your users avoid it? Does your IT staff hate it? Does it not talk to anybody else? Do you struggle with the number of passwords? Does it feel old and antiquated? Can you not get the data that you need out of it? Can you not access it on your cell phone while you're at a conference? Do you constantly have hardware headaches and feel like you're not focusing on your core competencies? And what would happen if the application itself went down? and then the 5 strategies. You can either rewrite it from scratch completely wholesale. You can buy an off-the-shelf solution and modify it to your need. You can replace it in pieces, in small chunks. You can take it off of your premises and put it up into the cloud. And you can also rewrite the UI if the fundamental application does what you need it to do. And with that, I'll open it up to questions.
So no questions yet. Gail, do you need to give any instructions in terms of how to log questions in Zoom?
Yes. Okay. What we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and launch a poll. These are the evaluations. Go ahead while we're waiting for some questions. Take the time to complete this. And if you have any questions, you can put that into the Q&A box. All right. While we're waiting, I just want to also mention again that our presentation is being recorded and we will post it to our website shortly after today's presentation. Okay. That's all I have for housekeeping, Ted.
Okay. We'll give folks a minute or two here to get their poll in and see if we have any questions. So Zach, I think you nailed it, buddy, because you covered all the bases. We don't have any questions in the Q&A box, Gail.
Okay, great. Well, Zach, thank you for the presentation. Ted, thank you, and AcroWire for sponsoring today's webinar. And to everyone who attended, I appreciate you coming by, and we look forward to seeing everyone on future webinars. So let's wrap this up. Take a few more seconds to go ahead and fill out the evaluation, and we're good. So everyone, have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.